Okay, so I promised to go ahead and comment out the code on this to kind of explain what was going on. So basically, the mouse input calls PyMenus or calls navigate in the actor to guide him around or to call up menus to decide how to interact with things. So when I left click on the map, it checks to make sure you're not playing the animation pressing. And then if the distance to the point is great enough, it calls navigate. And if the distance is too short, it actually just faces the target and applies force. So navigate to point. So the way this script works is the camera itself, it starts off in this state and then jumps to this one. And there's that script I was just pointing at, mouse input. And this mouse over any is how it gathers the data of the target that you're mousing over to be able to use to navigate to or call the PyMenu. So that's how you get what object you're mousing over. And then this is how you get when the left mouse is pressed, or the right mouse, which LM and RM in my script here is left mouse and right mouse. So it gets the target, which is the actor, and then if you click and the actor is not currently busy doing something, if the actor is not animating himself doing pressing, navigate to point or apply force locally. So that's the navigation section of the thing. When it sets the act strip to navigate, then the actor takes over and does that. And I'll show you that in a minute. This is the PyMenu calling code. And also, if you have something in your hand, that's what this is if you have something in your hand, it's different. So instead of calling the normal PyMenu, it could call a different one, but instead I just have it popping items in a slot, like this. I'll go ahead and show you the override behavior of placing an item. So I can right click on this. I may have broke something. Oh, I see. I did this. There we go. I had changed the state of the camera so it wasn't firing up in its correct state in the right order. So I press the button. I'm going to go over here and get a key card. So inside this little locker here is a key card. Pick it up. So now that this is in my hand, when I right click on this door over here, it'll pop the key into it, like this. So see the little blue key is there. So now I can hit this button and it'll work because the key card is in there. So I can even take this back out. So now I have the key card. I could set it on the ground. This doesn't have an inventory yet, but so if the item is in, if you have something equipped, then do this. If you don't, then call a PyMenu if it's there. Or if it's just a flat-out text explanation mouse over, then call that. Alright, so the next thing is the GOP Action Strip Planner. So up at the top we have all of his states. Pressing, interacting, placing an object, picking up an object. And these are all discrete logic states. But what happens is you can feed a table of these to an actor. So I'll do an example action strip. navigate, and then this can be a vector or a game object. And if it's a game object, it'll track the game object, but if it's a vector, it'll just go to the point. So, and then you could put a world vector here. And you could do a whole strip of these so that once he arrived at the first point, it would call the next one. They would be like this. So I could direct an actor to walk somewhere, and then we could add other states like play an animation or open a door or any of those kind of things to up here. And then, now that I think about it, I did fill this out a little wrong. This is supposed to be like this. Because when you feed the data to the state, it's a list. So this is the state to call, and then the data to pack in it. So it could be like play action. And we could have the name of the action to play, how long, etc. And then when that's called, it gets packed in like this. So you can grab arguments out of the data that's in the act strip and manipulate it from inside the state. So basically, like, I can call inspect, and if the actor's not close enough to inspect it, then he'll call navigate and put that ahead of his own, like this. Shift on key. Here we go. So if the distance is greater than 2.5, just call navigate to get there. So a higher level state, like interact with the button, can call a lower level state, like navigate. So this loc equals, so this is the first action on the strip. This is the second piece of data, which the first piece of data is what to call. And then this is the first piece within that. So in this case, this would be pick up what you're going to, the target game object. Oh wait, no, it looks like 0. Yeah, so this is actually game position, game object. And that's the only data for this command, because it just needs to know where the thing is picking up and what the thing is, where to fly to, and then what to pick up. So this is actually a discrete state, and once you reach the target, it'll pop this off the list and then go to the next command. So you could feed a whole list that's like, walk over here, press the button, talk about the button, go out the door, to be able to tell a story. And the only other significant thing is this calls the pie menu choices, so based on the name of the pie menu option. So the UI, oh, actually the UI is something that I do need to describe. This is self-contained on its own, the UI is. And you also feed it lists, like this. So it has a list of all of the UI elements that are currently active. And if they're smaller than a certain size, it knows it hasn't added it yet. So it adds the element to the scene and then sticks the element itself on the end of the list. And that's how you access it later right here. So if it is long enough, then it goes down here. So this is how it updates the UI elements, and this is how it adds them. And then when you call a pie menu, it'll cram the data in it like this. Just a second. Right here. So after it adds the UI element to the scene, it crams the data supplied into the UI element, and then the element takes care of itself. And then this is just where it updates the element each frame. So all of these UI elements that you see all use the same system. This initial UI is actually an overlay scene. But this dot lets you know the overlay is active. And so that called that to say it, and I can call this at the same time. So you can see multiple UI elements can be open at once, and it's all using that same script. So there shouldn't be any extra overhead incurred from sending a couple of messages. A couple UI objects at the same time. So when I interact with this, you'll notice there's multi-lines of speech. And that's done like this. When you grab the object itself, there's a property called string. I see why I can't resize it. I have to go like this. There we go. So down here, this is the description, and then each break here creates another line. So we'll write a new description that's weird, but hello, I am a button. I am buttony. So now it's a list of things to say, and then that'll get called when I point at it. Just a second here. When I do right click and do inspect, it will call open that data that I just added. Alright, so inspect. Hello, I am a button. I am buttony. So that's the text that I just wrote in down here. So that gives you an idea how to have a longer description. Alright, well that's all for tonight. Just feel free to ask any questions about anything. Hit me up on my YouTube or Facebook if you got it.